So I know some of you are aware of this, that they're doing this massive petition in Atlanta in Georgia in America, this Stop Cop City. Basically, they're trying to protect this forest and woodland from this massive police training, fire and police training facility being built, and a big movie studio next to it as well. And the ironic thing is that if you go on, there's about 2 Facebook groups, and then there's a few people on Twitter, quite a lot of people using the hashtag, but they've also got a couple of groups on Signal, petition canvassing group, and a group for the forest, and they're all actually going around collecting petition signatures, or going around houses. There's quite a few of them doing it now, quite a lot of people. It's growing and growing and growing as we speak. But they're trying to get a referendum to stop this cop city, and loads of them have been arrested, a little bit like Extinction Rebellion and Just Stop Oil, for things when they're meant to have immunity and protection like we are over here. People have been done for criminal damage, like Angela Ditchfield and people like that, when it's not criminal damage. And I've actually got I'm putting together a legal case for this now, because I've got a lawyer to help me, and we're starting to work on it. But that's another conversation that I want to have. But I was just saying that it was ironic. I was talking about, why aren't people doing local referendums, we need to do a local referendum to stop that Stonehenge tunnel, because you can override the council and block it. People don't seem interested. They got 200,000 signatures to Parliament, and you only needed 26,000. Got eight times as many, but they aimed it in the wrong place. So I'm trying to get this Giles guy from the Ridgeways and Ancient Tracks group, because he's got 100,000 people in his group. He doesn't want them to build that Stonehenge tunnel. But anyway, I'm kind of going off subject now. But so this Cop City project in Atlanta, they're actually doing this. This is what Extinction Rebellion keeps saying, and Just Stop Oil, we tried petitioning, it didn't work. Well, these people in Atlanta now are doing a local petition for a referendum, and they're all chipping in now. They're all doing it, and it's happening now. But the city, attorneys and the clerks and the, mayor and everyone, whatever, the corporate entities want to just try and fail them and stop them. But they give them a really ridiculous small amount of time to get all these signatures. And then they managed to get a judge. They've just got a judge to extend the time. I think they've got I think they might have another month left or something like that, another 30 days, but they're doing it now as we speak. And they've got that Signal app, like an Extinction Rebellion sometimes use it, but I've never really used it. But they've got that Signal app, and all the people who are going around doing the canvassing with the petition ballot papers, but they've got to pick boxes of them up. I can remember when I printed a lot of petitions out, 10,000, and I had a big box of them, and I went round and put them in loads of places. I think someone went and chucked them all. I'm sure that someone went round and got rid of them. But so what's actually happening is, apparently, this Atlanta place is it's got they're saying that Atlanta has got these really, really, really ridiculously stringent laws for petitioning. Apparently it's the only place in America that has these really ridiculous laws. So they're making them do things like, you've got to have a witness when someone signs it. There's got to be a witness and things like that. This is actually what the ballot paper looks like. It's just like a normal, like when you go around collecting signatures on a clipboard, it's got all the legislation on it. It tells you what petition it is. And in the bottom, it's got a number. But every single sheet has got a different code number on the bottom, which is ridiculous. Rather than identifying the actual petition, in the local referendum, in the local petition and referendum rules, 2011, it says that every sheet has got to have the name of the petition on it, so you know which petition the sheet goes with, and every single entry has got to have the name, the signature, and the address to identify the person who signed it. And to be honest, 38 Degrees and Change.org don't even comply with all these rules anyway, if you look into it properly. And as long as you've got the full details so the council can check the signatures, check the person, and it's identified to which petition it is, then it's legit, right? Now, the thing is, this is only a petition to get the referendum, right? It's not the actual referendum. Once it's the actual referendum, then the city are paying for that, right? And the city makes sure that everyone's aware of it and everyone goes to a polling station like with us. We all get us polling cards through to let us know that there's an election or referendum. So then everyone's notified about it and gets a ticket through the door, and then you go down to the polling station. The ironic thing is at the polling station is it's just a shabby kind of like, it's a shabby printed out piece of paper just with a couple of boxes in that you tick. It's not even got anything legit on it to do with code numbers or anything, and that's the actual thing. You know, although all your voting card that comes through the post has got your name on it and that's got a code number on it and everything assigned to you. But for the petition, you're only doing a petition to get a referendum, right? Now, the petition rules say that it's got to have all the details of the person down so you can identify them, and you know, you got to have the identity in case the sheet's lost or whatever, or you know, so it's all one document at the end. Now, the thing is, right, in this Atlanta state, right, Georgia. In America, they've got loads of different laws around America, right, haven't they? You know, like jaywalking's different from state to state, or driving with a mobile phone's different state to state, or you can't sit on the floor in Los Angeles now, and, you know, like smoking indoors or things like that. They're just all normal laws, right? So, you know, for petitioning, right, the government, federal law, the First Amendment and federal law is blanket law for all of America, for the whole United States. Federal law applies to all states. Now, in the First Amendment, part of the federal law covers petitioning, right? The right of petitioning and free press and so forth. That's meant to be laws that apply to the whole of America. I seriously believe that you know, Congress shall make no law, that you can't make rules and commitments, you know, like to try and you know, hinder people petitioning or whatever, or even, you know, we're meant to have immunity as well. Which, like, I'm working on a case for that as well, which we know we've got immunity from the right to petition, but we don't really get it upheld very often. I seriously do not believe that these states can have different laws over petitioning, because how can you? If Congress shall make no law about, you know, this subject, then how can state law? How can Atlanta, Georgia, make a law? Because for the subject of, you know, petitioning, he says Congress shall make no law. If Congress can't make any law, then sure as hell, you know, Bernie Sanders or Ted Cruz or, you know, Rand Paul, you know, can't make a law. I mean, it's almost like it would be hilarious, wouldn't it, if, like, you know, Congress shall make no law, you know, but it's like on, you know, like... It's just ridiculous. I think that these people are getting ripped off and tricked by this Atlanta government. I think it's a rip-off. I don't, and there are plenty of things in England that they've been putting through the government recently that I don't think they can even do as well. I think when Congress can't make a law regarding something, then how can a state? You know, or else how can people around America through various different states all fairly, you know, it's got to be the same rules, you know, for at least for that. That's framework rules. That's not just like different jaywalking rules. This is the things that you can't make laws and rules on. And I think a lot more of these signatures they're collecting are valid. And another thing, Wiltshire Council definitely agree on their website with what I've been saying. Right, in the referendum, right, it's every resident who votes. So if you've got a electoral area, right, what you're doing is every single person gets to vote. Every person who lives in the area, right? If you had a board full of light bulbs, every light bulb's lit up that's there, right? Not additional light bulbs, or light bulbs from somewhere else. That's the referendum. But to get a referendum, you can petition for one. And who would want a referendum? Someone who's interested in getting one, right? What you're obtaining is everyone who lives in an area to vote on a matter, right? But to get that, you're just petitioning for that thing. It's like, I want to buy a Ferrari. What is the Ferrari? The Ferrari is everyone in the area will vote on this. That's what you're wanting. That's what you're bidding for, right? But, how much is it? Well, they say it's got to be important enough where, you've got to match 5% of the electorate, which, for example, in Wiltshire is about 26,000, right? But the thing is, if you think of if you think of Salisbury or somewhere, all the people who own businesses in Salisbury in the city might not even live in Wiltshire, particularly corporate. So not everyone lives in that county, and then you've got people driving through it all day, or passing through for work or coming to work there. And all those people work there every day of the week, and all the things that happen there concern them and matters to them. So surely they can sign a petition if it matters to them, if they want a referendum on something, but they won't vote in the referendum. The thing is, at least for the petition, it says it's the right of the subjects to petition the king, and all prosecutions and equipments for doing so are illegal. The thing is that it's His Majesty's government, including Wiltshire Council is His Majesty's local council, and every single council's got a mace in it, the authority of the king. It says it's everyone's right in England to petition the king. So you can petition a council chamber. Now, Wiltshire Council agrees with this on the website that, if you use services in their area or, work in the area, you can petition, and that ain't even for a referendum. So, but in America, they're making it so that other Americans can't sign the petition, right? And I think that they can. The only thing is, once they get the referendum, what is the referendum? The referendum is every single resident within an area voting on a matter. But to get that triggered, you've just got to deem that it's important to people who it concerns. Well, it concerns anyone who's got a business in that area or who passes through it. So those people are petitioning the people, really, of Wiltshire for the referendum to make them, force them vote on the matter. Because, if you own a business in that area, right, something matters to you, and you want to stop something, we say, look, I'm going to make the local people vote on it. It matters to me. I am a subject of the realm. That's the point. Not trying to scam the actual referendum, but everyone's got the right to petition. And I think that that's how it is in America. And I think that true that only residents of Atlanta would vote in the referendum, But I truly believe that all these other people they're asking, like, they're saying, oh, we've got so many signatures, but so many aren't valid or whatever because, they're not from Atlanta. But I actually believe that, the signatures should be valid for this petition. I actually also think they can publish it in the newspaper. Even if they're saying they've got to have witnesses, when you sign it. If you publish that in the newspaper, right, and then you cut it out, and then you take it, see if there's enough space to get 5 signatures even on it underneath, right? Well, you're carrying it around, aren't you? So if you go next door and say, oh, do you want to sign this? It was in the newspaper, then you're witnessing them, aren't you? And then, if you get 5 signatures, then, how did it get round to the person's house without someone taking it round? So you're going to witness them, aren't you? I mean, you could sign it to say, I am the witness, to say who is the witness on there. Because I can't see how they're getting... Who officially is being recorded as the witness where they're getting them signed anywhere else? Because it doesn't say on the form who was the witness, does it? It's kind of... All these canvassers who go around are the witness, but at the end of the day... It's no different. One of these people who's doing the canvassing, right, volunteering, it's no different from them going round door to door than someone getting in the newspaper and then them walking round to 5 neighbours, It just doesn't... I don't think that this Atlanta state are doing it properly, and even if they're claiming that they've got these different laws, I don't think that... I seriously don't even think that... that state can make different laws to the other states for doing petitions, because if Congress can't make a law, then I don't think the separate states can. But it's getting quite actually popular now. The only thing is, they're all like really, really, really opposed to this massive cop city, this huge cop training ground, and they're wanting to save the forest. But I've joined a couple of the groups, and I was really polite, really friendly, and I was a bit enthusiastic because I was like, oh, wow, cool, as if you're doing this, like, mass, huge petition and everyone's starting to join in and so forth. And then I was talking to some cool people, but then I got booted out of the Signal group, and I don't know why. It's because, apparently because I wasn't actually there, but I was like, well, I'm really interested in it, and I want to, see what's happening live, because they were actually talking to each other as they're going around the houses and making progress with it, and just saying, like, oh, I just got so many signatures and so forth, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. Why aren't Extinction Rebellion and Just Stop Oil doing that and getting more people into doing it for, stopping that Stonehenge tunnel or other things in local areas over here? But the thing is, I'm really getting annoyed with social media now. There's too many people just blocking. When you read the group rules and it says, be polite, blah, 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 no, arguing or harassment and so forth, you completely and totally follow those rules. But then still, you just get some admin who just either don't understand you, don't get you or whatever, and they just end up blocking. But it's almost like everyone is turning into cops now. I mean, it's like prisoner cell block H. You've got a cell phone. Everyone's got cell phones, and everyone's just blocking people on whims. I've been on the Fiverr site getting some help, but on there, people are just blocking for no reason at all. You've not been insulting, you've not said anything wrong. They're just like on a whim. It's like prisoner cell block H being on the phone now. They're turning us all into kind of like authoritarian... never mind stop Cop City. We need to stop Block City, because all these people, they're actually acting like cops now, and it's getting ridiculous. I think that this whole Mark Zuckerberg model has been planned, and they wanted to get us used to having a little bit of... The thing is, no one's actually challenging anyone when they're actually abusing these controls and when they're going overboard with them. None of the platforms are doing anything about it. And there's no way to really argue with them if you're blocked. So they just end up really overstepping the mark. And that's the thing. That's what's wrong with the police. Because with the police prosecuting all the activists like Just Stop Oil and Extinction Rebellion, they're doing it the wrong way. It's not criminal damage. It's all in the Town and Country Planning Act. And no one's actually really stopping the police. And the police really what's happened with the police is that because no one's challenged them and no one's stopped them, they just get carried away and they just do things as they want and they overstep the mark. And that's that's why we've got to a problem with the police now. But unfortunately, they've given everyone these phones with all these controls and people are just being frivolous with them. They're not being responsible with them or sparing with them when they're really needed. They're just kind of using them whimsically now and they're getting carried away with it. And I think that's the whole problem with the police anyway. But they've got people to kind of get used to it and like it now. And we're just ending up becoming antisocial, you know. And I actually think that it's quite serious. But anyway, I quite like this Stop Cop City campaign. I just thought I'd mention it. They seem to be like really, really keen on it anyway. And they seem to be doing really, really well. But they've like covered all I ain't got the picture here. They've covered all the sidewalks. Like they've been writing it on the sidewalks and putting on telegraph poles. Just doing loads and loads and loads of campaign material for it. And I think the public it started to be in the newspapers over there a bit more now, and more people are becoming aware of it. So I think it's actually started to take off. I think they're going to achieve this goal, but I think a lot more of the signatures should count because I think that their local government in that area is ripping them off because I don't think that they can actually have that really stringent law. But anyway, that's my opinion. I just thought I'd mention it.